Welcome to the NWR Resources Virtual Series. My name is Kerry Stevenson. Up next, we have Vital Metals. ASX code is VML. Joining me today is Geoff Atkins. He's the Managing Director. Before he starts, Vital Metals is Canada's first and North America's second rare earths producer, with production underway in June 2021. And they're aiming to produce at least 5,000 tonnes of contained REO at, I can't even pronounce that one, Geoff. I'll let you do that, by 2025. Geoff, over to you to pronounce those hard to pronounce names.
Thanks, Kerry. And thanks everyone for having me on. This was a great opportunity for us just to give a quick overview and update on what's been happening with Vital, and specifically with regards to the Nechalacho project. Going into it very quickly, obviously there's the usual disclaimers. Vital is positioning ourselves to be in a position to guarantee feedstock into the rare earth supply chain. Now, what that means is that at the moment, looking at what's happening in the international market, there is a lot of uncertainty around the ability for producers of magnets, electric vehicles and end users to really be sure that they'll have the supply of rare earths. Vital is positioning ourselves to be able to guarantee this supply. And this is not just in terms of volume, but also in terms of the total product suite. At the moment, if a rare earth user wants rare earths, they need to get light rare earths from some sources, heavies from others. So we're really positioning ourselves to be a one-stop shop for all rare earth requirements. To do that, we have 3 rare earth projects, the rights to 3 rare earth projects. Our startup operation is obviously the Nechalacho project in Canada. We have also agreed to terms with the Kapowa project in Quebec, which we see as being a source of heavy rare earths. And then we also have the the rights to the Wigu Hill project in Tanzania, where we're currently having ongoing conversations with the Tanzanian government. These 3 projects will build the capability for Vital to be the first rare earth company with the ability to supply commercial quantities of both lights and heavy rare earths. And that really is quite critical. We have a binding offtake agreement with RETEC, and as well as ongoing and very strong support with the Canadian government. I won't go into too much detail around the share price and the market and the corporate structure. You'll be able to read through all of that on in the announcement. One of the key strengths of Vital is that we have a very strong and experienced leadership team. We have a lot of experience in the development of rare earth projects, and Vital really is the culmination of 10 to 15 years of experience across the board with our team to apply all the lessons that we've learned in developing rare earth projects previously. The operation which we have in the supply chain, we have a North American supply chain as it currently stands. We have our main project up in Nechalacho, which will then send product down to Saskatoon for further processing, which is then ideally located to supply product to our customers. Our initial customer is in Norway, but we're also ideally placed to send product into North America and into the US, or across into Southeast Asia. And this really gives us it's an ideal location for us. Likewise, there's obviously a lot of political pressure at the moment in North America, specifically around the supply of rare earths. And being having a wholly North American focused and located supply chain, we see as being a huge advantage for us. In terms of our structure, what we see is that we are intentionally ensuring that we have a diversified supply of rare earths. So our initial operation is up in North T, We then have expanded operations in Tardif, Wigoo Hill, Kapowa, and should we acquire any other projects. By having a portfolio of mines to be able to supply products into our processing facilities, that then gives us the flexibility to supply our customers. I mean, with our structure, our mines are operated under our 100% owned subsidiary, Cheetah Resources, and our processing facilities are operated under the Vital Metals banner. And this means that for our customers, we will have the ability to meet their exacting requirements. So whether that be certain ratios of lights to heavies across our portfolio of projects, we will have the ability to supply our customers. And also with a number of projects, it also gives us the flexibility to adjust to the demands of our customers. In terms of our development strategy across those projects, we see this really as being 3 stages. And with the addition of the Kapowa project, it has enabled us to refine this approach. One thing we've learned from our history with in developing rare earth projects is you can't just get to the end game. This has to be a staged approach. And you can't just say, okay, the first thing we're going to do is develop a massive project and do everything all at once. You have to do it in stages, otherwise you're going to run into problems. So our focus is really on doing this in a step-by-step process. The first stage is obviously building the foundations of the business. And this is what we've been really focusing on the last 2 years with the North T project in Nechalacho. What that means is this is about demonstrating our ability to supply rare earth feedstock. We're not looking at huge volumes, but this is about really giving the confidence to our customers that we have the capability to not only produce product, but we're able to produce it at specification. And that then will also generate sufficient cash flow to fund expansion. Once we have those foundations in place, we then expand, and then we're able to build the scale into our operation. And that there comes through the Tardif operation at Nechalacho, which is obviously a much larger operation. And it's also where we see Wigoo Hill adding significant value to our company. The last phase of this is actually being able to provide the full suite of rare earths. And this is about ensuring that for any customer, whatever their demands are for rare earths, we're able to supply it. If you're a magnet producer supplying into the electric vehicle market, you need a proportion of light and heavy rare earths. It's no point saying, well, we've got a supply chain for rare earths and a source of supply for rare earths outside of China for lights if you don't have it for heavies as well. So what Kapowa will do is that will enable us to provide the full suite and enable us to be a one-stop shop. In terms of North T, operations at North T have continued and have gone very well over the northern summer. Mining operations have been underway since April, and we're now winding that up and in the process of demobilising our fleet. Ore sorting work has been ongoing, and product is bagged and ready to ship down to Saskatoon. And all in all, the project has really worked as well as what we could have hoped. One of the things which has been extremely pleasing is that the ore sorter has operated as well as what we could have hoped. This is the only operation for rare earths in which a beneficiated product and a high-grade beneficiated product has been able to be produced through a single stage of ore sorting. And this really provides us with a number of advantages. Firstly, from a capital perspective, this is the cheapest beneficiation plant you will find, and same thing with operations. The other thing it means is that from a recovery perspective, it's also worked extremely well. The reason we've been able to do this is through the high-grade ore that we have. And with this, we have been very fortunate that during our mining operation, we've even come across some other high-grade zones which weren't included within our original resource. We currently have near enough to 1,000 tonne of beneficiated product ready to be sent down to Saskatoon. This is extremely promising for us and encouraging that the operation has worked as we would have hoped. That material will be shipped down over through October, ready to be for the first feed into the extraction plant in Saskatoon by the end of the year. With North T operating well, and we are also then starting to focus more on our expansion projects. And this is Tardif and Wigoo Hill. With Tardif, we have undertaken a series of drilling programs beginning of this year, and we'll have another drilling program next year. This program which we undertook was extremely promising, with grade significantly higher and more extensive than what we'd expected. The zones which we drilled have remained open. The grades are significantly higher than what was expected, and this gives us a lot of confidence as we move forward to define what this Tardif operation will look like, not only from a grade perspective, but also from a mine life perspective. I mean, some of these grades which we have there, 30 metres at 4%, 7 metres at 14%, are extremely promising. What's perhaps most encouraging about this work is that the mineralisation which we have found there is a similar basmati mineralisation to North T. Now, what this means is that from an operational perspective and from a processing perspective, it means that we can rely on the equipment, plant and infrastructure which we have built and are building for Nechalacho to use that same infrastructure for Tardif. This will make the capital cost a lot less, and it will also enable us to move a lot quicker. We also have the rights to the Wigoo Hill project, and negotiations with the government are ongoing with the Wigoo Hill project. And once we receive the mining license, which we anticipate, we will then proceed to focus more on this. Wigoo Hill is a really interesting operation. There's currently a 43-101 resource of 3 million tonne. As you can see from this slide, that is focused just down on that bottom right area. However, the entire mountain hill is mineralised, with the remaining targets over the rest of the site. So we see Wigoo Hill as having enormous potential for providing the scale which we are looking for as part of our ongoing plans and development plans. As with North T and Nechalacho, Wigoo Hill also has very large basmati crystals. Once again, this will provide the opportunity to use ore sorting to beneficiate it and ensure a nice low-cost operation. The third stage of this is obviously Kapowa. Kapowa provides the opportunity for introducing commercial quantities of heavy rare earths. As with Nechalacho, Kapowa is located in Canada, although this time in Quebec, and it has previously had a full feasibility study completed on it. We will undertake a program to update that and to fine-tune a development strategy which we believe will enable us to successfully develop the project. The big thing with Kapowa is it has a much higher percentage of dysprosium and terbium, and that will enable us to supply commercial quantities of these products. Lastly, quick update on Saskatoon. The extraction plant is under construction. Foundations have been installed. The building, which is a steel frame portal building, fabrication is advanced in that, and that will be delivered to site in the next couple of weeks for installation. In addition, we've also ordered all of our major equipment. This includes dense media separators, calciners, waste gas scrubbers, tanks, centrifuges, candle filters. These have all been ordered and are on track for delivery to enable first feed into the plant by the end of this year, with first product to be produced first half of next year. Of particular interest is the capacity of the plant. The way that we have developed the plant and ordered the equipment is that majority of the equipment has been oversized. The initial capacity will be 1,000 tonnes of REO, excluding cerium. Now, we say excluding cerium because the process will naturally drop out a lot of the cerium, the majority of the cerium. So it's much easier just to use an NX cerium throughput. That 1,000 tonnes will produce approximately 500 tonne of neodymium and praseodymium. The plant is designed to be able to double capacity within a couple of years, with basically all of the major plant and equipment oversized. The only plant which is not oversized is the hydrochloric acid leaching circuit. So that means duplication of that facility and doubling capacity will be a very simple process. As I say, this plant is on track for delivery, also for operations, with first feed by the end of this year and product coming out of that plant the first half of next year. This product will go up to SRC up in Norway. So just to sum up about my time, we are on track for operations and for delivery of product to our customers. The timeframes which we've set out a couple of years ago to get into operations, we are on track to meet. Likewise, the budgets which we've set and which we raised money for at the beginning of this year, that is on track. We're on budget as well. The focus, our approach is on a three-stage approach, building the foundations of the business first through North T, then expanding the operation through Tardif and also then Wigoo Hill, and then finally delivering a full suite of products through with Kapowa. We're able to do this through utilising the experience of the team, and we are on track to deliver on our business plan. And yeah, just like to thank you all for the time. I think that's my time.
Geoff, you are bang on time. I'm extremely impressed. Couple of questions. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question of Geoff, please pop the question into the Q&A chat box at the bottom of the Zoom screen there. And I promise you, I will get all those questions answered. Geoff, the first one's come up. Are your beneficiated ores radioactive? If yes, how do you and your customers handle them if they are?
One thing with rare earths, all rare earths have an element of what's called norm, which is a background radiation. It's more around, so it's not is it radioactive or not? Everything has a small element of radiation in it. The beneficiated product will have a small amount of uranium and thorium in there. However, it's not it's just in the mineral structure. As we process that material, all of those elements will come out. We will take those elements out, and we are currently in negotiation with a number of disposal facilities in Saskatoon, which will then fully licensed facilities, which is where those products will be stored. One of our principles is that we are taking responsibility for that waste. We do not sell, that does not go to our customers, and we do not export that waste. So we are taking full responsibility for that and ensuring that we utilize appropriate storage facilities. One thing I will say, being located in Saskatoon, Saskatoon is the home of the Athabasca Basin, which is the center of uranium processing in Canada. There's a lot of experience in handling these wastes. Our wastes are nothing like the uranium industry. In fact, we have a number of companies who are interested in taking our product because it improves their environmental performance, and it helps dilute their waste products. So yeah, we are
All right.
taking responsibility of that with fully licensed facilities.
Fantastic. I've got a lot of questions coming in here now, Geoff, in order to get through them all. Next one is, how is work towards maintaining the VTMXF stock ticker on the OTC markets going?
That is proceeding. So we are working through that process. As we have more to announce, we will announce that.
Okay. Okay, sorry, lots coming in here. What percentage do you think in the long term the ore sorter will give versus traditional methods for all 3 sites?
A little bit hard to say on all 3 sites because each one is a bit different. So with at North T, that will produce 30 to 35% concentrate grade. So that's about equivalent to what Lynas produces out of their flotation. At Tardif, it will be lower than that because it is a much finer grained product. And we expect the test work which we've undertaken with Tardif is that following ore sorting, we will probably need to add an additional beneficiation circuit, something like whether it be flotation or additional gravity or MagSep, something like that. The test work we received to date, it doubled the grade of it, so it takes it up to about 3-4%, something like that. At Kapowa, we will have a look at possibility of ore sorting there. Kapowa is what's called a eudylite project mineral, which naturally won't have enable the same grades as a Basmati. However, from the photos, you can see it is once again, if I'll bring this up, the pink is the eudylite, so it is a very coarse grained project, coarse grained mineral. So once again, we expect that to be very to be open to ore sorting.
Comment about Kapowa, really about local sentiment. Have you got any concerns about obtaining permits for Kapowa due to the local sentiment, or is that all sorted?
Look, we will work through that process, and we look forward to the opportunity to work with the local communities there. One of the things which we would be looking at is applying the same process as what we have at Nechalacho. And that is really about providing opportunities for local communities, both in terms of contract opportunities, employment opportunities. At Nechalacho, over 70% of our workforce are Indigenous. Our contractors are Indigenous. To date, I think we're at about 130 contracts with Indigenous companies. The other thing is, we'd also look at applying the same general principles as what we have at Nechalacho around minimal disturbance and really making the project as low impact as possible. I mean, if you look at the construction activities which we have up at Nechalacho, where there's very minimal disturbance there. So we'd be looking at applying the same logic to that with that as at Kapowa, and we look forward to the opportunity to engage with the communities as we move forward.
Geoff, there's lots of questions here. If people would like to get a hold of you and ask the questions directly to you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Look, the best way to do that is, well, a couple of different ways. If you either go through NWR, they'll be able to forward it through to me. Alternatively, if you just go through the Vital Metals
website.
Yep.
Fantastic. Geoff Atkins, Managing Director of Vital Metals. Sounds like you've got lots of work underway, but it's in a very exciting time for the company. Thanks for joining us at the NWR Resources virtual series today.
Great. Thank you very much for having me, and thanks everyone.